welcome folks to the SEO Science Show. My name is Josh Bachynski, and I've been on a long hiatus, but it's getting close to SEO Miss, and so I thought I would jump on in and start making some more videos for those of you folks who are ready for more SEO. Today is going to be all about what's new in SEO. There's been a lot that's new in SEO. If you've never watched the SEO Science Show before, we are the people who do scientific testing for SEO to try and figure out what the grand unified theory of ranking is. And we've done amazing strides in that regard. Did you know there's primary SEO ranking algorithms and then secondary ranking SEO algorithms that work in conjunction with each other? We do. It's very interesting. I would like to talk to you about that today. And Darren is here. Hey, Darren, how you doing? If you have any questions, please ask them in the top right-hand side you should see on YouTube. If you have any questions, please, for me, go ahead, put them there. If you want to put a few asterisks beside them so I can see them with my old Coke bottle glasses, that'd be good. Oh, geez, those are dirty. I shouldn't take those off. Show you how dirty my glasses are. And today is SEO Miss. SEO Miss! Ta-da! Congratulations! It's Mary SEO Miss. Is that this? Which side is? I don't even know what side that. Wait, let me see. This side. Mary SEO Miss. Science doesn't care what you believe, but I do. I care about you, and I'm going to try and give you the best SEO free advice I can give. If you want more than free advice, if you want some actual mentorship, you can join my mentorship group, setsecretseo.guru. And this is where we do all this testing, and this is where we go through all the testing results that we've been finding. So let me get right to it. And let me share my screen here and start talking about some stuff. So this is what we're talking about today. There's been a whole bunch of core updates since the last time I made a video. And it really, 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 really is important to kind of pay attention to what Google is doing. Google has changed the siloing algo. Now, a lot of people are crazy about siloing. I'm not so crazy about it for a number of reasons. I've tested it every which way. And most of the time, if you do it wrong, you're going to hurt yourself. And if you're doing it right, you didn't need to make a silo in the first place. I found various things that are part of silos that are ranking algorithms that help you rank that don't require the silo. So if you use a bit of imagination, you might be able to figure out what that is. But silos actually can hurt you the way that they're being taught right now by Bruce, what's-his-face, and Kyle, what's-his-face, and Clint, what's-his-face, and all those guys who have no idea what they're talking about. Sadly, that siloing is not really working. I mean, it's a roll of the dice. And so we're not here for search engine gambling. We're here for search engine ranking, search engine optimization. We don't want to do moves that have 50% chance of boosting you. We would like to do moves that have a 90% chance or 100% chance of boosting you. In fact, most of the things that I teach do have a 100% chance of boosting you. Just the question is, did you do it right? Did you manage to trigger that particular algorithm? Some of them are not 100%, obviously. The secondary category of algorithms on the QDD side, the query deserves diversity side, those are sometimes tricky to trigger. My students will recognize something I call QDD aspect. And so that's sometimes hard to trigger. But otherwise, all the on-page stuff, the linking stuff we found, it's pretty much 100%. And if you know how to test it correctly and you know how to tweak your testing that you can see it working correctly, and that's what we do here on the show. So let's see what else Google's been up to here. So they changed siloing. So I would be very careful about that. If you saw your index page replaced with a subpage or your subpage replaced with index, in the last few months they've been working on that. BERT was released a couple months ago, and it's taken me some time to analyze it. But it's bi-directional something. I don't even know. I don't even care. I don't care what Google's talking about. I don't care what they're doing. I don't even need to know what they're talking about or what they're doing. I test everything. They say something and then I test it. So everything they say is taken as possible, a potential hypothesis, and then I go and test it. And BERT is very interesting. It was a major shift. A lot of SEOs, said, how do you optimize for BERT? Some SEOs were like, well, you can't optimize for BERT. You can definitely optimize for BERT. Basically, when you have a query, here, allow me to draw a whiteboard for you. So if you have a search, if this is the search field and you have a query with 1, 2, 3 words, traditionally this word got the most lines weight, the most weight in the search query. And so if this was best red apples, my favorite, then they would do an analysis, and believe it or not, starting out, words with best in them, articles with best in them, would obviously score better for this best red apples query. But now Bert is learning that this is more about red apples than it is about what's best, or if it is, it really depends on what the user feedback is for this. And then they might put the emphasis on articles that say red apples instead. How many times you need to say this, where you need to say this, is there over-optimization to saying this too much? The answer is yes to all of those. You need to join a group that has the most stringent on-page testing. And the testing is not only for the first sort. There's not only a first sort when you first do the search and you get the first batch of queries back. Then there is a second sort that's done. And this is where a lot of the magic happens. This is getting like to page 1. And then after you're already on page 1 or 1 to 2, around there, this is where most of the magic happens, and nobody does any testing in this area except for me. No one even knows it exists. This is where the multivariable indexing starts coming in. This is where the AI-based algorithms start coming in. This is what you need to know if you want to succeed in SEO these days. If you don't know about this end of the, I mean, you need to know this too. Don't get me wrong. You need to know what happens in the first sort. And everyone thinks they do. They think it has to do with LSI keywords. No, that's wrong. It's dead wrong. They think it has to do with keyword stuffing. That's wrong. If you stuff keywords, you're going to be and you're going to get demoted for sure. They have very serious over-optimization penalties. They have very serious over-op here. If you go too high in too many cases, you are definitely going to have trouble. So this is kind of the stuff that we're looking into. So as I just said, Google has moved completely over. Probably the biggest thing that's happened in the last few months. All that is like nothing. It's like whoop-de-doo, whatever. The biggest thing that's happened in the last few months is artificial intelligence rankings. Remember back in the day when Google announced years ago that they're going to be making they're going to have a machine learning algorithm or a set of machine learning algorithms that are going to talk to each other. And they're going to decide randomly what the ranking factors are based on some other inputs. Well, congratulations, you've survived to that era. That's the exact era we're in. Google does have algorithms that talk to each other, that double dip, that both are looking at a certain on-page factor, for example, and will rank you one way in one case and another way in another case. In some cases, these tags, and I'll tell you what they are: bold tag, I tag, strong tag, EM tag, H1s. Remember those tags? Remember those? And pretty much any single other possible on-page logical character formatter or style formatter. It doesn't matter for you HTML nerds. Remember what that means. They can and cannot be ranking factors simultaneously. That's also what I call quantum ranking. It totally depends on a number of other factors, and that's part of the reason why we see the dance and the churn. You're just like, we'll go up and it comes down, it goes up and go down, and then it'll stay down. There's other factors that are qualifying factors that will determine whether or not those on-page factors even count anymore. So it's not your grandma's rankings. It's sadly all the on-page courses that are currently taught are wrong. They don't even understand this. They just go by best practices. If someone ever says best practices to you, fire them immediately. They're the SEO who has no idea what they're talking about. I'm really serious about that, and I'm trying to save people money. I'm trying to save people heartache. I'm trying to help you with a little bit of tough love of cutting all the bullshit and getting rid of all the BS and saying, no. If you don't have this and you don't have that, don't even try to get in SEO. You're just going to hurt yourself. You're just going to hurt your clients' rankings. It's just going to be painful. I would get out now. So I'm going to tell you exactly what all that is, so you can make an appropriate decision as to whether you should even be in the SEO industry or not. And so one of those things is understanding the multivariable indexing, and also what I call quantum ranking, which is also this AI-based ranking, where in some cases the B tag is a ranking factor and boosts you. In some cases the B tag is a demoting factor and demotes you. It has nothing to do with over-optimization, although that factors in too as well. That's another factor on top of these other quantum factors. And if you don't know if you haven't isolated what all these factors are, because you've been very seriously, and it's luck. I lucked into it. I'm not saying I'm brilliant. I'm not dumb. I'm a pretty clever guy. I have a master's degree. I'm ABD and a PhD, science-based, interdisciplinary PhD. So I have some idea of how to do science and what's going on there. But really, it was just luck. It was luck in the Florida update, actually, way back in March, where I noticed a very special thing that Google did, and then the lights went. This light right here, came on. That's the idea I had. It came on. And the bird said, "What'd you find, Josh?" And I said, "I found this." And then I watched Google very carefully over the next successive updates after Florida, after March, and there was 4 or 5 big core updates since then. I watched very carefully what they did, and then they hid what they did. So I was just lucky, and I told my group about it, and they're like, "What?" And we tested it, and we showed the results. We're like, "What?" If you don't believe we have results, go to bit.ly/SEO Proof. That's bit.ly/SEO Proof, one word, SEOPROOF. And you can see ever since March, and even beyond that, we were having more and more wins, more and more successes, more and more people are killing it in the rankings. And so it was luck, but we did stumble upon it, and we know this kind of atom bomb of ranking where they're doing this kind of first order sort, and then they do the second order sort. And if you don't understand this, first off, you're done. You have to understand what's going on here, and it's very strong on page factors. It's not LSI. It's not related keywords. It's not TF, IDF. It's not term frequency, inverse document frequency. People think it is. It's not. And if you don't know exactly what it is, you're going to be in trouble. But there's no way you could test and find it now because Google's hiding it, because it cloaks it with these second order sorts. And if you don't structure your test properly, you're not going to be able to disambiguate between the first order sort and the second order sort. And then second order sorts use the first order kind of algorithms again in another way. So Google found a way with RankBrain. It's RankBrain, really. It's not LSI. It's not keywords. It's not LSI. It's not TF-IDF. It's RankBrain. That is the actual algorithm that they're using. RankBrain plus BERT. That's what they call it. So why should we call it any different? If you understand how RankBrain is sorting these, and then BERT is resorting these, plus a whole bunch of other QDD algorithms, including QDF, there's freshness algorithms, are resorting on this side, then you will never understand the algorithm. And it's a very complicated kind of factor. If I was writing out a formula, it'd be like blah, 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 plus blah, 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 divided by blah, 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 plus blah, blah, blah. Like it would go on for quite some time with a lot of brackets and things in there. If I had to write out the grand unified theory of how it's ranking, but I can. And I even have the weights. I know how much individual keywords weigh in individual spots and places used in different ways. And that's kind of the really bombshell, eye-opening things that our testing has been able to discover. So, so let's see what else we got here. So just some of our scientific grand unified theories. So as I was talking about multivariable indexing, this is also called quantum ranking, or, this is called AI ranking. Whoops. This is where the ranking factors change based on other factors, so they're not constant. Not only is the index not constant, don't want to open that. Not only is the index not constant, but the indexing isn't constant. Not only is that, but the ranking factors per index are not constant. So an index is nothing but a collection of web pages, a database of web pages sorted from worst to best, or from the lowest number, which is about 300, 500 of what you get back, to number 1, ostensibly, or number 0 if you include the featured snippet. And that's what an index is. And every index has a ranking, has ranking algorithms, has ranking rules as to why this page gets to be number 1 here, but this same page, with all the same properties and all the same factors and all the same meta properties that are pointing to it, like, links or whatever else you think are ranking factors, heaven, manna from heaven, whatever you think ranking factors are, whatever your best practices tell you, whatever your test from 2 years ago tells you, that might be true. It's probably not true because you probably didn't isolate the factors well enough, and you have no reason to believe it's true. But even let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say it is true. It's only true for that one multivariable index. that one instance, that one parallel universe, if you will, of the infinite parallel universes. It's not infinite. Google has, well, I guess it is infinite in sequence. Google can shuffle forever forward theoretically. So I guess technically it is infinite, but there is a practical limit, of course. It's practically finite, theoretically infinite. Potential multivariable indexes that you could possibly find yourself in, where the B tag is a ranking factor here, but it's not here, but the A tag is a ranking factor here, but it's not here, but it's this kind of ranking factor here, but it's not that kind of ranking factor there. As you can imagine, with 200 possible ranking factors to the exponent of 200, that's a big list of possible ranking factors, right? They could be turned on and off, and they can be switched at will. And Google doesn't even know what they're doing now. Google doesn't even know how that works. All they know is that they've turned the switch over, and it's not this last update, but the second to last update, right around when BERT was rolled out. All they know for the last few weeks is that the AI has been choosing what the ranking factors are, and they have a number of conditions that tell them whether or not this is in their quality testing, that this is the kind of feedback that they want, the kind of response they want, and they give that feedback automatically, I will add, through another artificial intelligence that they created back into the original set of artificial intelligences. So, if you're having trouble even understanding theoretically what I'm talking about, get out of SEO now. So there's tip for you one. If that didn't make any sense, what I just said, I'm very sorry. I'm going to tell you a harsh truth that you might not want to hear. Get out of SEO now. If what I just said didn't even potentially make theoretical sense to you, and maybe I didn't explain it very well, and you can ask in the comments, and I'll be happy to try to explain it again. But if that was like right over your head, well over the realm of possibility of you understanding it, then SEO is not a job for you anymore. That is a job requirement for doing it. Just like the job requirement for being a medical doctor over the centuries became more and more complicated, you're now in the 21st century for SEO. It is now this complicated. It's no longer early 2000s level complicated, where a bachelor's degree would suffice, or maybe not even a bachelor's degree. Now you need a master's level degree or higher to functionally understand how SEO is working. So get into paid traffic if you still want to work in internet marketing. There's all kinds of channels in paid traffic. You can get paid from Google. You can get paid from any of the major brands, right? Facebook. You can get paid from Snapchat, from Instagram, from Pinterest. There's all these paid sources of traffic, and they don't all gouge you like Google does. Google gouges you on paid traffic quite harshly. Their rates are quite high, but some of the other ones are not. You should look into them. And then there's a whole smorgasbord of paid traffic that internet marketers buy and sell like stock. And you can go to a forum. I can't remember the name of the forum off the top of my head, but it's the best one for it. I have an account, and all of my students get free access to it. Don't tell them. They get free access to this forum. A forum, FORUM. It's a web forum. It's pretty pricey per month, but it's less than what SEO costs per month. And you should go on there. You should now. Here's the second thing you need to know if you want to get into internet marketing in general or SEO in particular. Learn to see through the bullshit. You need to learn to see through the bullshit. You need to be able to tell out of any jackass talking, myself included, right now. You need to be able to tell fact from fiction. You need to be able to be like, okay, what evidence do they have to suggest this? And do I believe that evidence is reasonable? How do they acquire this evidence? And what is the evidence? Those four things you need to be able to determine by your own little lonesome. Because if you can't figure that out for yourself, then you're going to be duped, and you're like a grandpa with an email account clicking on every porn thing that gets sent to him with 1 million viruses on his computer. Sorry, that's just the way it is. You're going to get duped. Because this is why I'm saying this. This is the segue. Because when you go onto this internet marketing forum for paid traffic, which is great because there are real good deals there, there are 90% of them are shit deals. They're just trying to get your money. Oh yeah, our traffic will convert. It converts at 25% for a skin cream offer. It converts at 10% for herbal Viagra. It converts at, blah, 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 bullshit. You're going to need some seed cash to do this, a couple $1,000, maybe even 5 or 10 grand to do this, to get into serious paid traffic. If you ignore the incremental paid traffic, like the PPC, like the Google, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Snapchat, the whatever, that's incremental. You could conceivably spend just a few $100 a month, maybe get the traffic you want to convert, and maybe you could proceed that way. You're going to need to have some really good CRO, conversion rate optimization, and user interface UI experiments done. My group has this. You can come to my group for this. I have other resources at play for this as well. It's important for SEO too, but for paid traffic, you'll need that as well. Most especially because if you spend $3,000 on some traffic that you bought from some Yahoo on this forum, and they all go there, the first thing when you go back to him and say none of them converted, he's gonna say, well, that's tough. In our studies, he will swear up and down that their traffic converted at 20%. And then he'll look and go, oh, your CRO is shit. Where's your buy button? Your buy button's way down here. That's the reason why they didn't buy. Which he could be right, by the way. That would be probably, if your buy button is nowhere to be seen and it's way down at the bottom, he's probably correct that they were never going to convert anyway. So you need to be able to protect yourself, not only in SEO for this CRO reasons, but if you go the paid traffic route, you have to protect yourself from that as well. Christmas drink. Okay, SEO must drink. So, okay. So those are the two things you got to watch out for. Let me see what else you can watch out for here. Let me turn on the display capture, and then I'll get to questions if there's any questions in the chat. I've been away for so long. I don't even know if anyone's watching, but that's okay. That's fine. I like the sound of my own voice, obviously. Otherwise, why would I do this? So that's fine. So as I said, there's artificial intelligence algorithms that Google tested since Florida, then hid them. It's hard to disambiguate them. We just happen to be lucky enough to be watching very closely when they did this. There's anti-SEO algorithms working against each other to give you bad results. This is what a lot of the other testing groups don't realize, and they just do it. They do what they think is a scientific test. It doesn't matter if you've defined a structure for your test or not. That doesn't make your test quality. I can sit here and just sitting here in my chair. I will define the quality of what a good date is. A good date is when they order shrimp. There. That doesn't make it true. All right. That doesn't necessarily mean you will enjoy the date if shrimp are ordered. Right. Even though I sat here and proclaimed it from on high. So reality provides enough of a structured standard to determine what is true or false. We don't need an arbitrary XML standard to do testing. In fact, that obfuscates some of the potential truths in the testing. Any more lenses you put in front of the truth get in the way of the truth. And it doesn't make it true just because you've defined a standard. So sadly, these other testing groups that are out there, which don't even have any testing done anymore and barely do any, I don't even see any published, they haven't realized that Google is making anti-SEO algorithms. You can tell because occasionally on their show, they'll say, we found this in ranking. I have no idea why. I know why. I can give you an answer to any single thing you ask for general ranking. That's what I focus on. Google News, I don't know. Google Local, when it comes to Map Pack, I don't know. I use Jordan Pierce for that. Jordan Pierce is the best local guy on the planet, period. He's a close friend, and I use him on a regular basis for that. But for general ranking, I don't ever say I don't know. And if I do, it's because I haven't tested it yet or it's not important, and then I find out, and then I do know. Here's the third thing I want to say, and of my tough love. Because of these anti-SEO algorithms, not only are the testing groups kind of off in the reeds, and you got to be very, very careful who you're listening to and asking the evidence you're asking for, but SEO is pretty much 80% dead. I've measured it. This is a factor of one particular anti-SEO algorithm that Google has just put out. They just put it out in the last couple of weeks, an anti-SEO algorithm. It doesn't have a name. They're just secret dark algorithms. I just call it the anti-SEO algorithm that they put out 2 weeks ago. I have no idea what else to call it. 2 or 3 weeks ago, this is one of the artificial intelligence-based algorithms that changes things randomly. And it does so at 80%. I've measured the amount it does. 80% of page one is affected by this. And so either those are your odds, right? If you don't understand this algorithm and how it works and how to interpret it and how to respond to it and how to optimize for it, then you've got a 20% chance of making it through. That's what the numbers come down to, right? If it affects 80% of the SERP, approximately more or less, it depends if it's a 9-page SERP or a 10-page SERP or a 7-page SERP, but it's roughly 80% of the SERP. If it affects 80% of page one, you have about a 20% chance, roughly, of surviving it. And if you don't even know what it is, then you don't have a hope in hell. And all the people out there who are like, well, Josh, I don't see these problems. That's because you're lucky, and that luck is I can measure to 20%. That's now. You might be like, hey, Josh, those are great odds. At Vegas, I'd never have odds that great that I have a 20% chance of winning. I don't know about that. It depends what you're betting on, but okay, sure, fine. If you like that bet, we don't like betting. We don't like spending $500 a month on SEO or $1,000 a month on SEO or $2,000 a month on SEO, which is standard payments, which I'll get to in a second as well. That's the killer. That's number 4. That's the fourth horseman of why maybe you shouldn't be doing SEO. The money it takes. The money it takes. But anyway, we don't like 20% odds. We want to have, at least above 50% chance of winning. 60% of my students are successful. I have those odds too. I mark down those odds as well. So what other SEO group out there tells you that you have a 60% chance of winning? None of them tell you the odds. None of them tell you the odds of their groups, what their groups or success rate is. None of them tell you, none of them show you any successes except for like 5 screenshots from 5 years ago that might be photoshopped. I have a folder, bit.ly/SEO Proof. Go to it. I challenge you to look at any of them to see if any of them are photoshopped in terms of the important information. I remove people's names and things like that because people don't like it when I use their names sometimes. Those are my students, and those are my results, my students' results. And so no other group has this stuff, but true scientists would track all this information and publish it. I keep being told I'm not publishing my scientific information. I do. I have bit.ly/SEO Proof. I just told you those statistics right there. I just don't tell you how to rank unless you pay me because that's how I make my money. So, I mean, other than the free shows I make like this, which I probably give away too much, but if you really want to get the information, of course, you got to join the group. Special SEO drinks are not free, by the way. This is not just pond water from outside my house. I hope not. This costs money. So, but it's well worth it because if you see bit.ly/SEO Proof, you'd see the success everyone else is having. So because of these anti-SEO algorithms that are messing things around at random, and if you don't understand it, it's affecting about 80% of the SERP. And by that, I can tell you right now that at that choke point, because it's a choke point, the page 1 on Google is the choke point. It doesn't matter what other algorithm is working. When you make it to the page 1 at Google, that's where Google controls it, and about 80% of the SERP is affected. Therefore, you've got a 20% chance for the clueless, lucky enough to survive. You're just one of the 20%. That's just what it is. If a virus affected the planet at 80% mortality and you lived, it's not because they were wrong at the 80% mortality. It's because you're one of the 20%. Just because grandpa lived 110 smoking and drinking doesn't mean their predictions about how bad that is for your health are in any way wrong. You have a test sample of 1. They have a test sample of millions and millions. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, get out of SEO right now because you're not smart enough. I'm trying to save you money and time. If the last few sentences I said didn't make any sense to you, or you're like get out of SEO now. You're not smart enough. You have to be able to think for yourself in a very rigorous scientific way. You shouldn't even really, you should already know this, And so what else can get you? Paid traffic if you want to stay in internet marketing, or get a job from somebody. It's the American economy is supposed to be doing well. So there should be some work out there for you. Upwork is great. Do some work on Upwork. Do some web design. Do some web development if you have those talents. Web writing, maybe they don't get paid very well, but you could try those things out. So sadly, any course or free SEO group, black hat or not, they're about 80% dead too. And again, I know this news is probably shocking to some of you, but I am that Josh Bachynski, the one that the infamous Josh Bachynski, who says things and people are like, what? Well, here's the thing I'm saying now that people are going to be like, what? SEO is 80% dead. SEO isn't dead, but SEO is 80% dead. The rest, if you don't understand this anti-SEO algorithm, is just sheer dumb luck. Well, how is it that these guys have these courses where the people are paying and stuff like that? And how can they have these conferences where people are paying and they're full up? One, they lie. People lie. Newsflash, People in the SEO industry lie all the time. They say their course is full when it's not. They say that their conference was a smash when it wasn't. They say that they had the best presentations when they didn't. They say it's a no-pitch conference when it is. They say I'm ranking all the time when they're not. They lose clients all the time. I lose clients all the time. Not all my clients are ranking 100%. I'll tell you right now. My students have a 60% success rate. I count that as pretty effing good. And I'm a reasonable man. That's why I count that as pretty effing good. You have a 60% chance if you join my group that, statistically speaking, that you should succeed. Those are the best odds you're going to get, guys, in the SEO world. No one else is going to tell you the truth like I am telling you the truth. And that has always been true for anyone who's listened to me for the last few years. So I'm sorry, like those people who are ranking, look at and I challenge them. I say, well, put me in your search console. And the lines are going down. The lines are going down over time. And they're like, well, we're still ranking in brackets on some pages that I've randomly deemed to be important because I didn't want to notice that actually our rankings are falling over time, end bracket. Even big brands, even like medium, like not big brands like the Fortune 500, but the Fortune 1000 brands, even like meaty brands that make hundreds of millions or millions of dollars a year, even when, well, not hundreds of millions mostly, but millions of dollars a year, even their rankings are going down to the bigger sharks who are making hundreds of millions. And even their rankings are getting hurt to the ones that are making billions a year. And that could be even Google itself deciding to move into your niche and taking all your traffic. Have you ever heard of hotels? Flights? Ever checked a flight on Google before? Have you noticed? Did you used to run a directory? Did you used to run a directory that basically gave the same information as Google Maps? And then suddenly Google Maps came along and you didn't have any traffic anymore? Yeah, these people know exactly what I'm talking about. And Google's been sued for it. But unless the Americans wise up, well, it's not the Americans, the world. The world needs to wise up. Unless people wise up and a fluke happens, like Elizabeth Warren gets to be president or something, and that's not going to get fixed, folks. So that's just the way it is. Sorry. So anywho, what was I talking about before this particular rant? Oh yes. So it's just 20% sheer dumb luck. People lie when they say their success rates are what they are. I'm telling you, realistic success rates, 60% is not a lie. It's an approximate, but it's not a lie. So SEO is not dead, but it is 80% dead. So you really gotta get with a real group here. Here's another thing that's been coming up: speed rendering. The new Search Console. Definitely in the new Search Console, I can give you this free piece of information. If you see any speed rendering issues in the new Search Console, you definitely want to fix those. The social presence signals, these got to be real. Don't try to fake your traffic signals. That's probably going to end up very badly for you. I've done some testing in this regard, and you can get around it to a little bit of a degree. But basically, there is no solution for CRO and CTR. That's conversion rate optimization and click-through rate. And here's my last atom bomb, the fourth horseman of why you shouldn't be an SEO. if anything I've said here you disagree with or don't understand. It's a pay-to-play system. SEO is not free. That is probably the biggest lie right now that is going on. SEO is not free. You need to pay for the scientific information, or unless you're doing it all yourself and you don't sleep, apparently, because it's a full-time job for me to do the scientific testing. You need to pay for the information. You need to or pay for some paid traffic for various reasons that I can't get into, but I will in the mentorship group. You have to pay for good design, good development. There's all kinds of things you need to pay for. SEO is not a free thing anymore. It's not free traffic. It costs money. It was never free traffic. It always costed money for links. Oh yeah, you need to buy links too. Or the equivalent. So what could be equivalent to links? Ooh, who knows? There's two different things. I'm not even just saying traffic. There's other things as well. There are links that you don't even know about, that nobody knows about except for my group. So, and I mean nobody knows about except for my group. That's the last thing. So don't consider it a free thing. If you do not have, my mentorship group is a mere $300 a month. If you can't afford, I'm very sorry. You're late to the game. You're late to the party. It's not the internet gold rush anymore. If you can't afford $300 a month for my course, which gives you a 60% chance of succeeding, then get out of SEO now. Go get another job. Go do something else. If you want to work from home, I fully understand the benefits. I hate driving too. I hate driving in rush hour even more. And if you have kids, child costs are so ridiculously expensive. Childcare is so stupidly expensive. If you like kids, maybe become a childcare practitioner, because they make a killing for listening to those brats scream all day. What is it, like $1,500 a month or something stupid like that? So per kid or something like that. So anyway, get on the Upwork. You can still work from home. You have to have some talent though. You got to be a good web designer, good web developer, good project manager, good something you can sell on Upwork. Go on Upwork and see what people are selling the most, and then put yourself on there. And you can still work from home, and there's still benefits to doing it. So there's all my ranting and raving. Let's look to the chat here. Possibly, maybe we have some comments. We have a whole 25 years. Hi, folks. How you doing? As I mentioned, if you have any comments for me or questions, you can put them, well, questions preferably. If you have any questions, SEO questions, you can put them on the top right-hand side on YouTube. If you want me to take a look at your site, it's SEO Miss, folks. I'm doing free testing, free looking at sites, free information. If you want me to take a look at your site, go ahead, put it in the chat there on the top right-hand side, and I will try to get to it and help you out. If you have any SEO questions, I will try to go in a bit more detail of some of the different things that we're doing. Vikram asks, can you audit a site now for me? Yes, Vikram, I can. Go ahead and put it in the chat there. I would still try to use it. I will still try to. I will try to get to it. All right, Alte gives one to me first. It's matriculum.com. Hopefully, it's not a porn site, please. I can't edit those. I can't audit those live on air. DD asked first. My site rankings have slipped since Google update last month. What did the last update prioritize? Okay, DD, I'm so happy that you asked that question. So that is the wrong question to be asking. One, Google wraps like 40 changes into a single update. Two, they have like 2 or 3 updates a day, mini ones, and they have a major one every few weeks to months. So the question is not, it's like saying you got shot and you got stabbed and you got bit and you got punched, and then you ask the doctor, what was the thing that killed me? I don't know, all of them together. No, there's no way to disambiguate between a lot of these things. So that's the wrong question to be asking. What you need to do is need to join my mentorship group, so you can learn what we call the process based on what we call the formula. We've got the process and the formula. You need to follow the process and achieve the formula, and then you will rank. So, and if you don't follow the process and you don't learn the formula and do everything in the formula, every single thing in the formula, my students, then you're not going to rank. And so that is where the problem is going to be. And so I can't even tell you like, oh yeah, do this, do that. It's so complicated. You need to follow the process and the formula. There's not even like a little single thing you can do. Join now for live audits. So it might not have been the answer you wanted, DD, but it is the answer you needed. So Zach asks, is Quora still a good tool? So I don't like this question because I don't like people asking me blunt questions about other people's tools, where historically there might have been some kerfuffle between us in the past. And we may still not even be on speaking terms quite yet at this time, or maybe ever. So you put my boots to the fire. Would I pay for Quora? No. Quora is a great measurement tool, but if you don't know what you're measuring, it's completely useless. And if you don't have the scientific factors, then it's completely useless. So instead of paying whatever it is, $300 a month for Quora, you should be paying $300 a month for my mentorship group. And if you're not willing to do that, get out of SEO now. That's just going to be. Zach says, "I'm sorry. I remember you were talking about it before." No problem, Zach. It's not a problem. It's just if I say here Quora's not a good tool, then suddenly I get a bunch of TED fans in here who are like blah blah blah. It just makes more fights. I'm trying to avoid fights. There's enough fights on the interwebs. Have you been on the interwebs before? There's a little bit of fighting on it, so I'm just trying to avoid the fights. But no, if you put my boots to the fire, no, Quora is not. I can't help it. I have to tell the truth. I have a big mouth. Blah blah blah. Can't help myself. So no, if you ask me that question, no, Quora is not worth the money, in my opinion. If you don't know what you're scientifically measuring, there's no point having a measurement tool. And it's a great measurement tool, but it is influenced in what it measures is determined by the author, and the author has a certain idea of what ranks, and they're wrong when it comes down to it. So no, you should not be paying any money for that. All right, Altair gave me a site. Now I can finally get to it here. Matriculum.com. Altair, what is your site? What does it do? What is the dealio for this thing? You could please tell me that while we're at it, and I'll start showing you some stuff here. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, so when I search for your brand name, Matriculum, the first thing that comes up is somebody who I'm presuming is not you. So that's the first bad sign, that Google doesn't know that you are a powerful, I'm going to use the word entity, although the concept of entity is complete bullshit. There is no entity algorithms, but I'm going to use the word entity anyway because I don't want to use the true words because that'll give away too much. But they don't know you're an entity. You don't have a powerful enough on-page factor. You don't have a powerful enough semantic. Let's put it that way. So I don't even see you on the front page here. So that is a huge problem. It doesn't matter if the site's new or not. It's still a huge problem. If I put .com, then you come up. Okay, that's great. And I see you have information about private blog networks. Okay, this is... well, you might be talking against them, so that's fine. Okay, so let's see what the cache says about you here. This is all information that we can tell. So if I go to text-only version, this is what Google thinks your page looks like. This is the information on your page. And this is what this page is going to rank for based on this information here. So clearly you're talking about SEO and stuff like that. If I turn on SERPworks and take a look at some stuff here. Yeah, so also we're not looking so great in the PA category. DA means nothing. Ignore DA. DA is just the PA of the index page, or of the root of the site. So that obviously is not going to be high enough. So you're obviously trying to rank for SEO related queries. Do you know how hard it is to rank for SEO related queries? You better have $5,000 a month to spend for the next 2 years or so. So I don't see this succeeding unless you have that much money already. And if you did, you'd be a big brand doing something else. So unless you happen to have $5,000 a month for the next 2 years, you're not going to rank for any SEO related query. Tell me how I am wrong with that. Do you have $5,000 a month, Altair, to spend on that? Altair says, I'm working hard. I leverage on content. And fair enough. I'm sure you're working very hard, and I'm sure it's great content. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure everything that I'm seeing here is fantastic content, and I'm sure that I'm sure you're working very hard on it. Let's put it that way. But quite frankly, there's a million of these kind of pages. You are really late to the party. This is like someone telling you should invest in Beanie Babies. That was like 20 years ago. It doesn't make any money now. And if you don't have $5,000 a month to try to rank for these queries, you are not going to rank for them. You can even try a long tail strategy of trying to rank for super long tail queries, but you're now competing with a billion other people as well who are doing that. And Google shuffles you around on purpose. Google messes with you on purpose in these kinds of niches. So my best advice for you, Altair, is that, and this is not the advice you want to hear, okay, he says organic traffic is growing. Yeah, of course it is. It's going to grow, but you're never going to get page one, and you're never going to get anything serious there, unless you can monetize that somehow. I don't know how you would monetize that. Maybe if you're in the third world, I don't know where you're from, But if you're in the third world, maybe you can squeak out enough money out of it that it's worth your while on long tail queries. I don't even know how that would work, but I would not expect page one rankings for even 2 or 3 word queries. So that's just my opinion. That's my take on it. I'm giving you some advice that, maybe you should be looking elsewhere for what you're doing there. I see a whole bunch, because this is just what looks to me like a standard blog that a million other kind of people have done and try to do. And so let's just pick a random thing here. If you're targeting organic traffic from Google, you need SEO. However, it can be a challenging and expensive process if you don't know what you're doing. It is challenging and expensive even if you do know what you're doing. Implementation of the right SEO practice can save websites from spending a ton of money and, more importantly, being penalized by Google. Okay, your English is good. I was expecting maybe some bad broken English here, so that's not too bad. So, again, I don't know where you're from, Alte. You might want to try different languages. The English language will be saturated for this. If you happen to speak another language, maybe that would work. If you happen to be overseas, I don't know that you are. I'm just saying if you are, and in case someone listening is overseas, trying your native language, because that's like a time warp to like 10, even 20 years ago in some cases. Then you'd have a much better chance of success in that particular regard. Let's see some other stuff here. You have HTTPS. Let's look at your code. So let's look at your title. So the title here, you have the brand in the title when it's already in the domain name. That's probably wasting space. So if I go back here and look, how to increase the speed of your website. Okay, so here, the titles are too long, first off, so you don't want to have ... The titles are too long. Let me look at this page here, because there's also been this other algorithm, so they rewrote this title here. Not allowed to view the source. Yes, I can. If I just go in here, I can. So I can, did you know you can hit F12 and you can see the source of anything? And I can copy this element, the entire HTML element, and I can put it into Word, for example, and say, hey, Word, paste this in here. Okay, good. Now I can see it. Now, title. Okay, so your title, which is too long, is how to increase the speed of your website, Matriculum, SEO, and Search Engine Marketing Journal. They rewrote that, I don't know if you noticed, they rewrote that to keyword research. I don't know what keyword research has to do with increasing the speed of your website, but whenever you see Google rewriting your title, in 99% of cases, that is a very, very bad thing. Just like Gary Ilyish, who is a Webmaster Trends Analyst from the Zurich office from Google, recently leaked, if Google is rewriting your titles, that is a very, very bad thing. So the title would normally show up here, if for those of you who are really new to SEO and don't know that. If this isn't exactly what you wrote, and it is not, you wrote how to increase the speed of your website, and then you had this after appended to the end. Now, where are they getting keyword research in here? From a lot of places. You have it in 12 different places, and A tags here looks like there's an A tag, other content here. They're pulling it out of the content, the HTML. Isn't that interesting? So why they're sticking that in here, you really have to do some thought as to what they're telling you when they're taking this random word that probably has nothing to do with your content. Do we have the content in here somewhere? What is this page even talking about here? Do we have it in here? Seconds to open. Let's just see here. Okay, so stay away. Okay, there it is. Okay, good, great. So the content is in there. I do have it. So you have this mostly in the HTML. Okay, so whenever Google decides to take random words, keyword research, out of your content of links you're linking to, and say this page here is so unimportant that the important content are links on the side that link to something else, that is a big, huge problem in terms of quality. And so I'm here to tell you, I'm sorry, Google does not think this is high quality enough to even bother presenting the content unto itself. It decides it's so unimportant that it's going to rewrite your title to add a word in here that has nothing to do with anything. It's saying, hey, actually, this idea on this site is much more important than this idea and or page. This idea and or page is much more important than this idea and or page. You should really be looking into this user because this is actually not as good as we'd like it to be. And whenever Google rewrites your title, and I'm talking to anybody and everybody here, whenever Google rewrites your title, and usually they put a brand name here, but not necessarily. They don't always put a brand name here. Whenever Google rewrites your title, that is a huge indication, and just as I've scientifically tested this, and it's proven, and I know it for a fact, and also, by the way, Gary Elias said this in public. It was supposed to be a private conference, but it got leaked out. Whenever Google here rewrites your title, you are in serious doo-doo. And you need to figure out why they're rewriting your title and what the hint is of the content they're putting here to what you should be adding to the title and then adding to the page itself, how you should improve this page, the semantics on this page, the content on this page for the user, I'll put it that way. Although that is not the important thing, actually. Really, the user is not the important thing in this particular equation, believe it or not. Although, you know, I've been preaching the traffic happy user CRO gospel for the last effing 7 years. In this particular case, that's not really what's going on. So those are at a glance some more things I can see here that are kind of a problem. Let's just see here if you have a canonical tag. You do. And does it go to the right URL? If I click this, it does not go. It does go to the right URL. Okay, this responds 200. And is this the URL that Google has in their database? That has to be exactly the same one. It is the, they don't show the URL anymore. Stupid Google. Too bad. I can't tell. They've hidden that. But unless you have errors in Search Console, it should probably be fine in that regard. So I take it you guys are still receiving this communication, I hope. Okay. So that's pretty much, Alte says you're from Turkey. Okay. I might try Alte trying to do this is in Turkish. Work in the Turkish market. That is a much smaller pool. We have a much better chance of success. The English world for SEO is it's done. It's over and done. It's sewn up. Unless you have $5,000 a month to spend for various SEO signals you're going to need, not just links. You're not going to have enough money to be able to compete in that market. So I'm here to try and save you some heartache and some wasted time. Vikram says, don't forget the hreflang. Yes, you should need to use your hreflang tags correctly if you're going to translate the site to Turkish or to any other website whatsoever. Alte says, okay, thanks for the advice on reviewing my website. Great help. I hope I did help, Alte. Try another language, and then you have a hope of success. Yeah, good luck. The next site that someone has here for me to look at is bluewire.com. They say they lost half of their long tail keywords. Okay, so let's take a look here at this. Let's go Blue Wire. So here we are, Blue Wire IT Services, IT Consultants. .com. I'm assuming that's you. That has to be you, I guess. Bluewire.com. Yeah, and you said bluewire.com. So I guess that's you. So that's a good thing. You're showing up for your brand name. That shows you have a semantic that Google thinks is important. They're showing you Yelp reviews here. Do we see any negative reviews here coming up for you? No. Okay, that's another thing you should be checking. They know you're about IT support in Miami, or they think you're about IT support in Miami, and they have you have a Google, you have a GMB. Google My Business listing here in Google Maps with 10 reviews of 5-star rating. That's probably okay. Those are obviously probably fake. Some of them might be ignored, but that's good if you squeak them by. So this is a good thing. This is a good. Let's look at the cached version here. Okay, so we got stuff going on. Override in their caching thingamajigger. Okie dokie. Okay, that's fine. So you also have site links. So that's good. So now let's look at IT services, IT consultants, IT support, Miami, Florida. Okay, here's the first problem. If you're trying to rank a single page for all these queries, that's not going to work. People say, I get my page to rank for 3 things all the time. Yeah, but not intentionally. That is just random happenstance that Google might grace you with a number of queries that really mean the same thing. IT services and IT consultants and IT support, I guarantee, are going to be different things. So for example, if I do a search for IT services and I decide to just get rid of all this other junk here, no, I'll leave it. Some of the related searches are for businesses and services for business, category of IT services, types of IT services, UBC course. That's because that's geographical. Because of where I am, I'm in British Columbia, University of British Columbia. Okay, so IT consultants is not a related search. That should be on its. It's not even listed there. Do they have it on this page here? No, only in ads. So that's not helping you. So having this word IT consultants in here is probably not helping you. It's taking up real estate in your title. It's not helping you. IT support Miami, Florida is not helping you. It's conflicting with IT services. So these are 3 different ideas. You want to rank for one of them on one page, one keyword, one key phrase, one idea, one main key phrase per page. And then if Google happens to grant you more rankings later, that's great. But that's not how you go for number 1. That's how you search engine gamble and get lackluster rankings on 3 or 4 of them. More or less, or make more work for yourself. Anyway. So let's look at the code here. Let's look at the title tag. Is it any different? So are they rewriting this? When I do this search here, they just do this here. So if I go IT support in Miami, do you happen to come up? Are you ranking on number 1 here yet? No. If I go here and I go Blue Wire and I do this little sneaky trick, what does it do? It has a bunch of, you have a bunch of outlets, I take it? Okay, so it has this IT companies in Miami, Florida, Blue Wire. IT is misspelled. It should be capital T there. Yeah, okay, I don't see any issues there. I don't see any major Google rewrites. You have a Google site. That's okay. That's neither here nor there. That's not probably hurting you. It's not probably helping you either. Let's make sure you have a canonical. You do. Going to Blue Wire. And was that the page I had here when I searched? That was the same page? Yes, it was probably. Yeah, okay, great. And at 200s, yeah, okay. So, I'm just looking for little things that I could possibly talk about on the show. Let's see here how many H1s you got. it says you have 4 of them. So this could be an issue. You should maybe consider this and what you're saying in these H1s here. And now let's look for, I don't know, I tags 0, B tags 0, EM tags 0, strong tags 0. Okay. There could have been issues there as well. Do you have a, let's see, meta description? So you have a meta description. This could be also, depending on what you're saying in here, or that you have it maybe, or something along those lines. This could be a possible issue in these second order algorithms that I mentioned over here. That might be able to trigger something I call QDD aspect, which can give you a huge boost. It can be the difference between page 2 and page 1. It could be the difference between spot number 10 or spot number 1. Could be a big difference. So there's some stuff going on in there that you're going to have to attend to, that you might want to be looking at. Did you have any other particular questions, Vikram? It says you're in Miami. You say you're on the first page for all IT support Miami, IT services Miami. Okay, let's see. IT services Miami. Let's see. Yeah, you're at the bottom here. Yeah. So the rankings for IT services Miami are getting hurt by all the other the focus in here. If I do IT, let me just turn this off here for a second and do something here. And go IT consultants Miami. Actually, I'm going to go back like this. IT, I'm just going to modify something, plus consultants in my super little secret tool, Miami. Okay, so then let me turn this back on so you can see. Okay, IT Consultants Miami. Now it doesn't know where I'm from. And let's see if you show up. Add. Blue something. Nope, you're not showing up for that one. Let's see, IT Services Miami. Are you showing up for that one? Yeah, here you are, okay. So IT Services and IT Support Miami was the other one. If you go IT Support Miami. So you're actually ranking for IT Services. Let's see if you have IT Support Miami. No, you've got some, in the map pack, you have some jackass who called it IT Support Miami, which is good. I mean, good for him or her. Oh, you're even higher. Okay. So yeah, so the fact that you're ranking for all those is good. And hey, maybe you're cobbling together more traffic that way than otherwise. You're not actually showing up for IT Consultants Miami, but it's probably personalization why you're seeing it. But if you want to hit number 1, and without spending too much money or time for either IT Services Miami or for IT Support Miami, then you're not necessarily helping yourself with the way your title is currently written and the way your site is currently designed. Let's see, services, 9 times, consultants, 0. That's why you're not running it for consultants. Support, 18. Yeah. So, yeah. There's some on-page things there you need to do to change it. Let's look at SERP works really, really quickly here. And let's see. The average here is 30. You've got a sufficient PA, maybe a little bit less than you need. Trust ratio, 112, 29, 108. So, I mean, that might be something you need to look at. Spam score is low. So not a lot of links are being discounted probably than any average. Although this is interesting that these guys, you have 0. That's good. However, you're not saying the keyword very much, not enough compared to the rest of what they're doing. And yeah, so there's some things going on here that obviously could be improved. Hello, Leon. What is up is that I'm making some videos. IT Consultants Florida, you say you're ranking for, sure. So I mean, yeah, you can cobble together a page that might rank for multiple queries, but that's not ultimately the best way to do it. Now the problem is that once you get a page ranking, north of 5, you should be very careful about when you make changes to it. So you're kind of in a rock and a hard place. You might want to be a little careful on that. Let's see what else people here are asking for sites. Zach says, thanks for being so honest. I can't help it, Zach. So you're going to get honesty from me, whether you like it or not, whether you want to hear it or not. So, Blue Eyed Trouble says, what up, broski? What up? Jason Witt says, my mobile site is rather slow. Do you think this alone could have moved my site from top of page 1 to bottom of page 1 on November 7th? Yes. An unqualified, resounding yes shouted from the mountains. Go into Search Console. Google is one of the best things Google has done in the last, ever. Go into Search Console, check the speed report. If it's not in there, click it on Page Speed Insights and fix every single thing in there until it has nothing to complain about and your score is like 99 or 100, especially on mobile. So that is I will tell you right then and there, without any reservation, I've scientifically tested it, and Google said to do it, and there's a tool right in Search Console. Yes, it is a major ranking factor, so go and do it. Is it the only ranking factor? No, it's just one of the buckets in the formula. But out of 8 or 9 buckets, it's one of the ones you need. But I have no problem telling you completely for free that, yes, I could guarantee to you that improving your speed score there will make things better. Alte says, this is great to know. I think he's talking about the titles. As soon as I am going to fix titles, I'm supposed to get some type of boost. In my testing, yes. In my testing, once the titles were fixed and made to what they're supposed to be made to, yes, they were fixed. But and I'm sorry, but I can't tell you exactly how they need to be fixed. There's a very specific formula you need to follow. I have that information in my mentorship group. If you want, email me and I can give you more information about that. I can't really release that in public. It's kind of hush-hush. But yes, in my testing, when we made the proper change, the effect was immediate within 5 minutes. Now, it also depends on what Google thinks about your site and whether they like your site or not, and whether they think you're, I'll use the euphemism high quality site, which measures two things, 3 things maybe total. 2 things tops. And that's what it means to be quote unquote high quality. But I know scientifically what it measures with a pretty high level degree of certainty on at least 2 of the things. And so the third is freshness. I'm not so sure about freshness. Freshness in most of my industries doesn't really matter much. And the QDF boost is it's a second order boost. It comes on this side of things. So you'll get a sort from Google and then you'll be resorted based on a number of things, all the AI algorithms, the multivariable indexes, QDD design, QDD aspect, QDD code changes, title rewrite changes. And then lastly, one of those in there is QDF. and it's not that. It's one little. It's a little brother in. It's one little sibling in an 11 child family, so it's sometimes hard to pay attention to. So I'm not so sure about that one, but I am much more sure about all the rest of these ones I'm talking about here. So email me if you want more information about that. And again, look at my group, bit.ly/SEO Proof for the proof, and secretseo.guru to sign up. Vikram says, you work for these IT consultants. That's great, Vikram. You seem to be having some success, so that's a good thing. There's obvious reasons why I saw that. Zach says, keyword is furnished apartments. Houston website is Hosting Zach. Hosting Zach is your website, and the keyword is furnished apartments Houston. Okay, well, I don't know if I want to. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared to look at this, but let's see here. Oh, let's actually do it here. Furnished apartments Houston. Okay, now let's see if you're currently ranking here. Some things I can bitch and moan about. No, not according to this search, which is searching from unknown. So no personalization, no geolocation added to it. Maybe you're. Oh, here you are. You're in the map pack. I see. Okay. Yeah. So that's good. That's great. You definitely need to have some more things done with this. You could use some more reviews. Get people to review you. Incentivize them to review you. Real, fresh, actual reviews would be a good thing. Do you have anything else in here? See all the questions. More questions and answers could be good. You have a bunch of photos, so that's a nice thing. A 360-degree tour, if you have an office, could be a great thing. All the features you can add in here would be a good thing. Would be fantastic. Reviews, particularly traffic, local traffic, or traffic clicks to the site. This area could also really help things out. You need to talk to my friend Jordan Pierce for more information about this. He also has a local group that you might want to join that could help you out for this. That would be a good thing. If you want to know about information rankings, let's look at your Hosting Zach is kind of a weird name. I don't know, maybe it would stick in people's heads. I don't know about that too much. Let me just look at your website here a bit. Okay, so I would want to install Hotjar on this to see where people are bleeding off and what they like about this site and what they don't like about this site. You're having a redirect. When I clicked on your listing on GMB, you've since upgraded to HTTPS. I don't know how good of a thing that is. If I do a site colon in Google, if I do this, what do they give me? They go to www, and if I check the cache here, this is your actual website that they're using, and so they have standardized to HTTPS, so that's okay, that's fine. That's a good thing. You've got 30 PA. That's probably okay. Using a bunch of H2s. That's not probably... that's neither here nor there. It's probably not helping you, though, very much. There's other on-page things we can do. Furnished apartments in Houston, Texas. Pipe Hosting Zach. It's probably not the title you want. Are they rewriting this title here? Let's see. Furnished Apartments, Houston, Texas. So all this is the About page. That doesn't really make much of a difference. You notice how they rewrote this? Google will rank an About page. It doesn't care that it's an About page. But this is another example of them rewriting a title. So I noticed your About page. You probably don't care about it ranking. So take this is just an example of what I'm talking about. but Google is rewriting this title as well. And so if this was a ranking page, you'd be having some trouble with it. The word count doesn't matter for that because I'm just comparing your pages to pages. So, but yeah, I mean, it looks okay from a 40,000 foot view to really do an audit. I need to get in here with the Search Console and whatnot. If someone wants to give me access to their Search Console, I could go in and give some more detailed information. Your HTTPS seems to be, it's supposed to have a slash on the end, but that's fine. Google seems to have understood what you wanted there. Your meta description is too long. This is not helping you out. This has to be smaller, and you might want to think to the semantic of the important information of what's supposed to go in here. So that's about what I can say about that. Let me know if you have any specific questions, Zach. Vikram says, I need pointers for local SEO. So I just gave them. Proximity is the most important thing. Make sure your business is in the middle of your demographic. Try not to fake it. Don't incur the wrath of any other of local SEOs out there or local guides, because they have very unfortunate ways of doing negative SEO and local SEO, which are just terrible. I'm trying to get Jordan to come on the show. Jordan and I are trying to work out a way where we can co-host the show, and Jordan, who is the best local guy on the planet, would come on. If you want Jordan to come on the show, go ahead, say so in the comments, say so in the chat. I'd love Jordan to come on the show and be a co-host with me. And he could go into much more detail as to what's going on there in local. And so there you go. I've been on for an hour and 16 minutes. I think that's probably enough of my ranting. Does anyone have any final SEO questions you want to ask? Go ahead and pop them in the chat. I'll be signing off right away here. As I mentioned, go to bit.ly/SEO Proof. Go to bit.ly/SEO Proof, PROOF, and take a look. Just browse through the images in there. It's just a Dropbox folder, and the images in there, and see what kind of success we've been having in the group. And then if you're interested, go ahead and email me, and I have some qualifying questions to ask you before you join. And we have some spots opened up in the holidays, but they will close up in January, so don't take too long before you want to join. And also, if you're just interested in local map pack rankings, email me, and Jordan Pierce, as I said, has a local group. I could point you in that direction as well. And thanks. It doesn't look like anyone else has any final questions there. So thank you very much for paying attention. This has been the SEO Science Show. I am Josh Bachynski. And I, who knows, maybe I'll make a show next week. Maybe I'll skip for the holidays and start again in January. But keep watching for a big SEO Miss episode where I want to do some more free audits. I want you to give me access to your Search Console and give me access to your Google Analytics. And if you don't mind sharing that information on the call, I'll go through meticulously and I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at and what you should be fixing and changing based on that information. And I'd be happy to do so for you for SEO Miss. So as I always say, good luck in the SERPs. May the science be with you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.